What's happening?
I believe we did.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to my another movie rant. But this time, we are doing a rant based one of the worst Star Wars movie I have ever seen in the history of mankind since Phantom freaking a Menace. Hello everyone, this is your good old neighbor Nick Hicks Spider-Verse and Frozen 2 and Kim Possible Fan 2001, and happy 22nd anniversary to one of the worst Star Wars movie ever made, which is another than Star Wars Attack of the freaking Clone, which honestly guys, the only good character I like in the entire movie, which is another than the Samuel L. Jackson characters, and even Count Dooku is the best character in this film. Even this film sucks, but I do admit, two characters, which is Samuel L. Jackson and even Count Dooku, is the only good character I like in this film. But overall, this film was a worthless piece of garbage. So today, I am doing a rant on one of the worst Star Wars movie ever made, which is none other than Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clone. I gotta say, this film makes Star Wars Phantom Menace look like a masterpiece and look like one of the best Star Wars movie ever to compare it to this, because this is how bad this film is, and honestly guys, all I gotta say, but I would've watched Star Wars Phantom Menace than Attack of the Clone any day. So if you wanna watch a way better Star Wars film, just go watch Revenge of the Sith. Go watch Star Wars Rogue One, which that film had one of the best Star Wars female characters I ever seen, which her name is Jyn, which, oh boy, she is one heck of the beauty, and I already did a review of that. But if you want more detail why I love that film so much, check out my 20-minute video of me talking about that film, and you can see it. It's on my Christmas video. You can just watch it, and you can give your thought on my review on Star Wars Rogue One. Anyway, enough further ado, let's get started to rip this. On guys, enough further ado, let's grab this lightsabers and swipe this film to the new one and give this film like a 1 out of 10. Honestly, just because this film has some one positive, but overall, those positives do not save the film at all. But honestly guys, we already know that we all hate Star Wars Phantom Menace back then. But now I am hearing that someone actually enjoyed Phantom Menace, which I don't want to be like them, because I'm still going to keep my opinion. Because honestly guys, we can sit back, we're all agreed that Star Wars Phantom Menace is the horrible Star Wars film ever. Why? It's because even that film was terrible, but even that film has some more positive than this film, because this film had one positive, but in the Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace, those films has some positive, like the race scene, and even the villain Dark Mortal. He was a really great villain, and even the score was so great, honestly. But honestly, I gotta say, but I would have watched Phantom Menace way more tolerable than watching a 2 hours movie of Attack of the Clone. Which honestly guys, I do remember watching this film back then of 2011, and I cannot believe what the heck did I just watch. And after I rewatched this film in a couple years, and does this film age well for the hate after 22 years? You're most definitely improved, because this film was absolutely god awful. So god awful is not even freaking funny at all. But I gotta say, but this is the worst Star Wars movies I have ever seen in my 22 years of my life, and I rather watch Rise of Skywalker or Oh, for God's sake, I would have watched Phantom Menace way more tolerable. Or even better, I would have watched a animated Star Wars film, which is another than Star Wars: The Clone Wars back then, 2008. And honestly, guys, even I really freaking hate that film. But I gotta say, but this film makes Star Wars: The Clone Wars look like the best Star Wars movie ever to compare it to this, because this is how bad this film is, and this film is so embarrassing to the filmmaker, to these people who made the special effects, and I'll get the special effects in a minute. But like I said, but the only positive I like in the entire movie, which is none other than Samuel L. Jackson characters, which is him that he's holding a purple lightsaber. Like his name is Mark. Like Mark? Seriously? What kind of Star Wars character have the name named Mark? Yeah, that's what I thought. But the best character in this film is House to Be Count Dooku. Oh, Count Dooku. Performed by Christopher Lee. Rest in peace to Christopher Lee. Honestly, guys, his last performance that he ever did, which is another than his character from The Hobbit. From The Hobbit 3, The Battle of the Fire Army, which that is the sadly last thing that he ever did before he passed away. Which, rest in peace to Christopher Lee. He was a really great man. He was a really great voice actor, and he's a really great performer. And honestly, guys, and we really thought that we're going to have him as Frodo for the live action movie of Hunchback of Notre Dame. But the only two actor they could do a Frodo voice, which my pick, Toby Bell, or even the Doctor Strange actor. Definitely not Bill Murray. And I swear to God, if Disney decided to cast Bill Murray as Frodo, I am going to slap Disney, and I am never going to apologize when I do that. Anyway, but honestly, guys, Count Dooku and the character name is Mark, performed by Samuel L. Jackson, is the only good thing I like in the entire movie. But the rest of the film was completely Star Wars poop. Honestly, guys, enough further ado. Let's grab this lightsaber. And honestly, guys, enough further ado, let's grab this lightsaber and let's grab a Han Solo gun to shoot this film and strike this film to the new one. First off, we have to talk about the story. This is the most laziest, honestly, this has to be one of the most laziest Star Wars film ever wrote, because this film is such a lazy writing, quote by Deadpool. I gotta say, but this film had one of the worst written Star Wars film I have seen in the history of mankind. Like, seriously, you cannot make a live action movie of the Clone Wars. Because, honestly, guys, even this film came way before the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars came out in 2008 and this film came out in 2002. Yeah, the same year as Kim Possible. Why in the monkey that this film came out the same year, the same timeline that Kim Possible, or even the Eminem movie, which I gotta say, but I would watch the Eminem movie back then, 2002, any day, to suffer my time watching this freaking movie. But I gotta say, but the characters, honestly, I'm gonna get the character, I'll get the character, and you know what, let's get the character now. Anyway, now let's get to Anakin. Oh my god, this is the worst characters in this. No. Yeah, honestly, that is the worst character in this film, because I absolutely did not like Anakin in this film. Because the Anakin is so freaking stupid, so freaking childish, and so freaking man baby, because he always get his way. And I don't understand why, because this is a freaking Star Wars film, not a movie when parents treating their kids like garbage. I do not want to see a Star Wars film that have Anakin to be like a man-child. Like, come on, this is not Phantom Menace. But I gotta say, but Padman, this is the worst performance that she ever did in her career. Like, seriously, what the monkey are you doing in this movie? No, you're a Jane Foster from the Thor film. And I do admit, but even I do not like Thor Love and Trash, but I do admit Jane Foster is the only good character I like in that film, because she is so beautiful as Mighty Thor. But I gotta say, but even I really hate Thor 4, but I do admit, Jane Foster, she's one heck of the beauty, but her death scene was really disgrace. I meant to say. And Yoda. I like Yoda. Honestly, I think Yoda is okay. I'm not gonna bash Yoda because I have a bunch of Yoda merchandise in my room, so I don't want to say trash about Yoda. So yeah. And honestly, guys, in Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan is it's alright. It's okay. Honestly, guys, at least he's way more tolerable than Anakin and Padme. And I'll get the well-meant scene in a minute. Oh my god, that scene scarred me for life. And honestly, I'll get to that in a minute. And Boba Fett. Honestly, guys, I do admit the same thing with Obi-Wan and Yoda. I think Boba Fett is, it's alright, it's okay. But honestly, guys, he's not as good as Count Dooku. Sorry, he is not as good as the Samuel L. Jackson character. His name is Mark. Which once again, what kind of Star Wars character name is Mark? Kind of remind me of Marcus for a second. But like I said, but he's not as good as Count Dooku because I like Boba Fett, but I seriously thinking that Count Dooku absolutely steal the show because this is seriously a Count Dooku movie instead of an Attack of the Clone. Let's get to VFX. Oh my god, this is the worst looking for a Star Wars film because the special effects is absolutely cheap and freaking lazy. Even I am not a huge fan of using that freaking term, but I gotta say, but the special effects in this freaking film is absolutely terrible, abomination, and this is seriously look like a PS2 game instead of the actual movie. The same thing with Rebel Moon. Honestly, guys, and this film came way before Rebel Moon. But I'm gonna compare. Honestly, guys, I have a right to compare it to Rebel Moon and Star Wars because Rebel Moon is nothing like a whip off the Star Wars. But I gotta say. But honestly, guys, and the lightsabers looking, I gotta say, but this is the worst looking lightsaber I ever seen. I'm not gonna buy these lightsaber in Attack of the Clone. Which honestly, guys, I rather buy a lightsaber, which is a way better movie. Like I would get a lightsaber from excuse me. Honestly, guys, I rather have a way better lightsaber from Revenge of the Sith or heck, Rogue One. And yeah, sure, even Jane, even Jane, she used a Star Wars gun, but I do. Honestly, speaking of the gun, there was a one scene when that one guy, which I forgot his name, absolutely used the actual gun. How is the actual gun exists in the Star Wars universe? You know what? I'm not talking about it. It's so really disturbing. But I gotta say, but honestly, guys, let's get back to the visual effect. This has to be one of the worst looking Star Wars film I ever seen in my freaking life. Because honestly, guys, and yeah, sure, Phantom Menace have the same VFX, which include Jar Jar Binks. Hello, I'm Mr. Jar Jar Binks. Get out of your Jar Jar Binks, or else I'm called Preston. But I do admit, also, I gotta say, but the worst aspect, honestly, and now we are getting to worst aspect I hate an entire movie. And this is seriously want to pull my brains out and whip my hair out and bang myself in the decks. But the worst thing that happened in the Star Wars history, even was than Rey kissing Kylo Ren, which that scene is way more tolerable than the one scene I'm talking about. The worst thing that came out from Star Wars, which I don't want to show a clip because I don't want to get copyright from Disney, but I do, so I gotta say, but the worst aspect I freaking hate in the entire movie, which is none other than a romantic scene between with Anakin and Padme. Oh my god, that is the worst scene I ever seen in the Star Wars film. And George Lucas, you better not do this ever again, because this is seriously a Titanic in a nutshell. This is seriously like I am watching a bad version. Honestly, this is remind me I'm watching a bad version of Titanic, because Titanic had much better romance, and heck, even James Cameron did. James Cameron. I'm sorry, no. I'm talking about the director that who made Avatar film and even Titanic. But I gotta say, but he did a way better romantic storytelling than George Lucas. George Lucas don't ever write a romantic storyline ever again, because you don't, honestly guys, you don't show, just tell. Honestly guys, you know we all said you don't show, honestly you don't tell, honestly you don't show to it, you have to tell for it. Honestly guys, the scene sorry, excuse me. Anyway, the scene when the scene of the romantic scene between with Anakin and Padme, that scene gave me nightmares, and I do not want to think about that freaking scene ever again. Oh my god. And anyway, in the quote in this film, I don't want to say quote in this film because the quote is making me want to throw up. Oh my god, that honestly, that is the worst quote I ever seen for a Star Wars film. But honestly, guys, I didn't even said of the quote in this film, but just let me know in the comment that you want me to say it. But once again, I'm not gonna say it because I was not born yesterday. Anyway, guys, I'm done talking about this freaking movie because more I think about this film and more I think about one of the worst and the most nightmare scene I ever seen for a Star Wars film, which is another the romantic scene of Anakin and Padme. Screw that scene. You know what? I'm done. So overall, guys, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Freaking Clone, is the worst Star Wars film I have ever seen in the history of mankind. And yeah, sure, even I really despise Rise of Skywalker even more than Attack of the Clone. But I do, man. Rise of Skywalker, at least Rey kissing Kylo Ren is not as bad as Anakin and Padme romantic scene was. That is the worst scene I ever seen for a cinematic history. Which that scene give me nightmares more I think about it. Honestly, if I see that scene one more time for a Star Wars marathon, I'm gonna be screaming just like Ron Stoppable when Ron and Rufus was screaming in Kim Possible, which is one scene when Ron having nightmares when Kim turned into like a creepy version of Kim. Oh my god, that scene is even creepier than the one villain from Evil Dead Rise. Which that is the most bloodiest and goriest movie I ever seen in my freaking life. But don't worry, the horror movie of the 2 gore is gonna be even bloodier because I heard that film will have a bunch of bloody, and I do not want to see a horror movie featuring eyes popping up. That make your horror movie look awful, just like we need to put butter funny. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna give no. Let's not get the waiting. Let's talk about the thought. So overall, guys, what else have to say about Star Wars Attack of the Clone? I say enough why I hate this film so freaking much. But honestly, guys, and yeah, sure, even Samuel L. Jackson name is Mark, and even Count Dooku is the only good character, and even Boba Fett and Yoda, and even Obi-Wan Kenobi is the only good character I like in the entire movie. But I do admit, but the special effects looks absolutely awful. I do not want to see that type of looking Star Wars film ever again. And even the lightsaber looks so cheap and lazy. Even some of the character was completely stupid and idiotic. Like Anakin is so like a man baby, and even Padme is such a whiny little piece of crap. But like I said, the romantic scene between with Anakin and Padme is the worst and the most nightmare scene I ever seen in my freaking life. Yup, even worse than all the scene from Megamind 2 The Doom Cemetery. Yeah, I'm not gonna compare this. I'm sorry. Honestly, guys, it's for the best that we're not gonna compare this film into my worst movie ever because those two films have nothing in common, honestly. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna give Star Wars Attack of the Clone a No. Let's not give it like a 2 out of 10 because that's too genuine. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 10. This is absolutely the worst of the worst, and I'm giving this worst Star Wars film a seal of Nick Hick garbage. Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars Rogue One is way better than Star Wars Attack of the Clone. In the rant. Sorry, guys, that was my movie rant. One of the worst Star Wars film I ever seen, which is another than Star Wars Attack of the Freaking Clone. So tell me about your opinion on this film on the comment section below. You think it's good? Think it's bad? Think it's mediocre? You think it's the worst? Think it's the best? comment below and let me know. And if you want me to do a redo review on Godzilla for the 10th anniversary, which is today, I might do it tomorrow because I am so busy. And on the I am almost done. I am almost done with Fallout and even X-Men 97, and then I'll do a review of that. And my next TV show I'll watch, which is none other than Harrow's Hotel, which I do like Charlie. Yeah, Charlie is my favorite character of the anime studio, which is A24. I didn't even know that A24 owned the right for Harrow's Hotel. I really hope they can own Harrow for Boss. That would be cool. Sorry guys, so if you enjoyed this rant of Star Wars film, which I really hope you really enjoyed, please, I highly recommend you hit the subscribe button, turn notification, and share the video whole family. And once again, if you want to watch a way better Star Wars film, kids, just go watch Revenge of the Sith. And yeah, sure, even that film was so dark for kids, but I do admit that that film has some much better has some much better storytelling, much better character development, and a much better lightsaber, because lightsaber in this film looks absolutely cheap and lazy, and I do not want to see that type of lightsaber in this freaking film ever freaking again. Sorry guys, have a great night everyone, and I see you guys next time, and once again, adios, and good night!